I don't know how to say it.
You guys have seen this before. It's the Heretic Labs Article 1, but not just any Article 1, because obviously this is the Speakeasy edition, kind of giving Metal Gear Solid vibes here. I did want to talk a little bit about this one because in particular, I love this Article 1 for the fact that it's very affordable. It does come with its own ESG style grip, so that way you can paintball LARP to your heart's content and just go crazy out there on a speed field or even the rec field. Very one and done, easy to use, just very simplistic. And that's what I love about it. I'm gonna do a quick mini review before we turn this one into my favorite build of all time. And that way I can explain to you guys my thought process behind it. Let's go. So in my hands, obviously it is the complete Article 1 with a few changes. So now, of course, it's a different handguard, the tracer was additional, and on top of that, the red dot sight that they kind of did advertise, but it does not come with the traditional Article 1 build that you see here. At the very front here, you'll have a much shorter handguard. Obviously, I'm not using that because I did pull out the Mac Customs entire handguard, which was about $100 additional with the tracer that I did get from a few years back, which is also about 60 bucks back at that time, Speakeasy edition as well. You gotta support local. And then the red dot sight that I did purchase on eBay for about 20 bucks. So you're looking at this entire build here that's gonna estimate to about closer to $1,200. A few notable things: you got the skeletonized body that Wolverine Airsoft Heretic Labs have engineered at their own home base, which I gotta applaud them for that because they did this and made it very affordable. I think a lot of big name brands among customs need to really follow up and actually do that, kind of decrease the price, especially with the inflation. Another cool thing is their own modular ESG style grip. What's cool about it is that they have several screws on the side that you can remove the side, and you have easier access to the line, the LiPo battery line, and of course the regulator. They did keep it similar to the spec of a real steel pistol grip because they do have the plunger and spring at the base here, which you do need to install. Kind of works with the safety, of course, with the entire build. It does feel kind of nice when you're holding it, but compared to other grips, they could probably be a little bit more smoother on the edges, maybe just less screws over time. But I think what kind of makes up for that is the easier adjustable sliding door that you have at the side that gives you a ton of space to work with when you're just putting in your LiPo batteries. And that's not what a lot of grips, you know, nowadays for custom builds like the ESG grips or even just like the Eurotactics grips or any grips that are out there at this time. Easy to install, easy to take out, just get up and go, get out there in the field, boom, one and done. Just the grip itself, I am gonna say I have to give it 3.5 out of 5 taters because of the fact that when I did take this out in the field for the first time, just straight out of the box, I was getting a decreased amount of FPS. On .25s, I was getting 270, 280 FPS. I ended up finding out that taking this apart, especially at the top receiver here, the culprit was the kink at the very back. The engine is pushing at the back of the body, which caused it to give a little bit of decreased FPS. I feel like I need to get a new line. I have talked with other people about a quick fix about it. They said that they also had to readjust the line. Some people had this issue, some people had issues with the regulator. The regulator seems like an easier fix than the line itself, but just upon readjusting the line every single time, I got bored, I gave up. Just becomes a temporary fix. So after maybe 2 to 3 sessions on a speed field or even just at rec play, it would decrease FPS over time. I wish I was able to use this a little bit more, but because of the NorCal scene as it is, it's just becoming so dry and NSL focused. Not that the NSL is a bad league or anything. And I think in the future, once I do turn it back into the Article 1 that it is from the MTW that we are gonna experiment with. But for now, I do have the ARC Customs rifle that I will be using. This is kind of like my primary anyway. I really like the MTW form factor and specs. Do I recommend this rifle? Oh, hell yeah. Do I recommend you guys getting one at some point? Definitely. And I feel like if you're a new player getting into the speed scene, for the fact that it is just MTW spec, it's very affordable, very durable. And of course, you can get a whole skeletonized body and just kind of customize it the way I'm about to do and just go ham, just go crazy. Another cool quality from the Article 1 is the fact that they released their own flat trigger specifically for the MTW, so that way you can adjust it just like the rest of the speedy boys out there that you see on the field. Of course, you can get your very own hairline trigger. Obviously, you can see mine has a little bit of pull since I haven't really adjusted it yet. But once I do, of course, it's gonna be very responsive, very fast, and the pull is gonna be almost non-existent. And that's my aim for this build once I'm done turning it into MTW again. Enough about that, let's go ahead, get into the nitty gritty and transform this entire build.
Transitioning everything on my entire build was nothing but a breeze, but just getting all the parts I needed was basically from what I had left over from Battle for LA. With the exception of the foldable stock that I ended up buying from Evike, I just kind of paired everything all together. Shorter build frame, kind of reminds me of the M13 from Modern Warfare 2. Just something that to me is a little bit more simplistic to use on the field. I love the look of the foldable stock, and of course with the shorter barrel giving me the advantage on any indoor CQB setting. I'm going to go ahead and just continue to modify this as much as I can throughout the next few months. The entire time it took me to transition from the Article 1 to a full-fledged MTW build was at least 20 to 30 minutes, because it's just so simplistic and easy just to modify everything as it is. I love building MTWs just for the fact that it's just so simplistic. I don't have to remove any of the internals just so that way I can get around everything else. It's just so simplistic, and the fact that I can use real steel components as an aesthetic, I think that's a plus. And overall, this build has just been super lightweight just for the skeletonized body and all of the other lightweight parts that I've had applied to it. It's just been great. I can't wait to take this on the field and just test it out, just beat the shit out of it or whatever I gotta do. And hopefully I can just kind of continue building on this little by little as we go along. I know you guys are wondering about the parts, so I'm going to go ahead and just label everything off as we go along. The Magpul pistol grip came in at around $20. Of course, you can buy it on our website, which I will provide a link in the description below. Following up, we go ahead and go to the foldable stock, which is a 5QU brand that I did purchase on eBike for about 60 bucks. And then another fan favorite is the murder mags that I did get from my friend. Of course, the prices do vary as these are non-existent in the market as of now. Looking at the front of the build, we have the Invictus rail from Wolverine Airsoft coming in at a 7-inch length for about $50 to $55. Another component that we're looking at right now is the EShooter alloy case for the tracer itself, which actually cost me nothing since they did send it to me to test out, but you can purchase it on their website for about $45. Going to the red dot, of course, this is going to be about $20 off of eBay. You can just find this on anywhere just for fairly cheap depending on the reseller. I want to give a quick shout out to my girlfriend for helping me model for this entire rifle. I just wouldn't be anywhere. This entire build has been my favorite so far. I just got to go ahead and test it on the field and go from there.